I say, dress in layers, love it when it's winter time. Say my prayers and the Lord bless me every time. Dinner time, expensive liquor in my cup. Lord forgive me, I'ma live it how I want. That's major like T.I.'s son. I always been just acknowledge that. Like an echo, I holler, she gon' holler back.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Thanks a lot.
An entrepreneur is somebody that didn't lose touch with their inner kid. You know, like it's not the guy or the girl that is stopped when somebody says, no, that's not possible. An entrepreneur is somebody that just says, I want to make this happen and I see a way of making a living in this. I love it.
Taking an idea and making it into something where you're able to support yourself financially. I mean, and now we're supporting other people financially. It's like we have this team, and
it's developing something from multiple angles and from your own resources, I think.
yeah.
Entrepreneurs are not employees. Entrepreneurs are people who essentially are taking risks and taking financial risks at their expense. I'm one of them, and it's a different mindset.
Well, I think it's shares the same DNA as creativity, but it's creativity that's harnessed to create an institution that can be a thriving economic entity that creates jobs for people, creates services or products for people that they want to have. But ultimately, there's a spark of creativity where something that didn't exist before comes into existence.
Entrepreneurship is running your business the way you see it being successful. Because you have to define your own success. You know, me, I see success on a grand scale. Like I want to be like multimillionaire, next big rapper / entrepreneur, put out other artists and so forth. But for some people it might be, I know how to go on a European tour every summer and I put out an album every winter. And that's being an entrepreneur. It's like I know I have this cycle that I know how to follow, and it's a business plan, and it's your business plan. You execute it, and that makes you an entrepreneur, in my opinion.
I think it's just being having an idea and being unafraid, and finding holes in processes, regardless of what it is. I think it's more rare to build something that just revolutionizes the world than it is to say, there's a hole there, there's an optimization there, there's this. And the people that are constantly focusing on making things better is, I think, a pretty good summation of what it means to be an entrepreneur. And that might be the world better. That might be, I want to make listening to music easier. Or that might be, I want pictures sharing to be easier. And in many cases, that's happening. And you're seeing it, it's some people getting rich from it. But, Instagram sells for $1 billion. Was that the best photo app in the history of the world? Probably not, because there's going to be much more to come. But right now, celebrating nostalgia and sharing photography is something that's missing. There's a hole there, and they made up the right answer.
The act of creating a new business. The older you get, the simpler you become.
It's everything. It is the most critical priority right now that we create more space for entrepreneurial endeavor, for innovation.
It's the role. It's the most important role. Here's the way I think about it. I really started as an entertainment lawyer, but I just became more excited about entrepreneurs than about any other single kind of artist. And to me, being an artist is about creating. And if you're an entrepreneur, then you're the ultimate artist, because you have to create a living and breathing organization of people selling a product and make not only the organization remain alive and be successful, but the products also have to be successful. So that is a massive act of creation, if you think about it.
I think we kind of consider ourselves entrepreneurs. It's not like, you can't think of it anymore as just making music or just trying to break in from one angle. You need to think of it as a business, as a brand, as something you can package in from multiple angles.
We found ourselves graduates of Berklee College of Music in 2008, and he was working at a boxing gym, and I was a wedding singer. And we were frustrated by the fact that we couldn't just sign up for a showcase and sing for a record label and get signed and live the glamorous life. So we started exploring what was available on the internet. So YouTube was an immediate attraction because they had tutorials for hairstyles and how to build a website. From some 14-year-old kid in Germany was teaching me how to build a Carmen website. So it was just really, our hunger and the DIY approach that kind of started this. And later on we were like, wow, we're actually entrepreneurs. Like everything we did was, I was like hand drawing the logo and, turning it into a vector image and bought Adobe software and was building. So it was
like a startup company.
Yeah, eventually we would have like conference room meetings in my living room and pretend that we were like the CEOs. It was really fun.
Like the board, the dry erase board, and like.
It was like when you're little and you're pretending like you're playing school when you're 6 years old. It was like the same excitement, but we actually had access to resources, like free resources that we could use.
Not just music, but in anything. Like the entrepreneurs are the ones that aren't thinking about how to get rich. The ones that are thinking about how to make something work are the ones that aren't getting rich yet, but that are going to be the ones that fix this. Sometimes people just like, I want to make something I can sell, or I want something that can be created that makes everyone's lives better. And anything I do outside of what even Pitchfork is built around that idea. Like how can, but it's ultimately on entrepreneurs to think these things through, because the major labels and labels in general aren't. They're going to change and they're going to adapt and they're going to grow, but no one knows the answers yet. The entrepreneurs are going to be the ones that have to answer all the questions.
Well, music is an interesting example because with a few exceptions, musicians have almost always been entrepreneurs. They have sort of a vision for what they want to do musically, but then they've had to find a pathway to earn some money doing it, either playing live or recording music or offering music to film, TV, other sources. But now more than ever, with the major labels, which in some ways served as the bank or the venture capital for the artist, who says, oh, you're really talented, we're going to take you at a very early stage of your career and invest in you and make you something. Moving them from the realm of pure entrepreneurs into sort of captive of the system, that's broken down to a good extent. Now the labels can't really afford to do that. They're really eager to sign someone who already is pretty successful. But the artist now has to figure out, how do I get from A to W without a label support. So you're seeing a lot of examples of really interesting things that artists are doing. Some of it has to do with just trying to get recognition and awareness built for their music. We just heard Carmen Music talk about how they got 200 million plus YouTube hits, and they were able to parlay that into a major label deal. But they've earned some money along the way before they had a label, both from monetizing YouTube sites and from selling downloads and that sort of thing. And then on the other hand, there are all these new entities that are trying to play the roles that labels played. So there are a lot of music business startups. Obviously Topspin, Pandora, Spotify, those are really well-known examples, but there's a whole ecosystem of small music business startups that are trying to take pieces of what the labels used to do. That whole direct-to-fan idea, I think, is very powerful, and it creates a lot of dislocation in the industry because a lot of the people who used to be the intermediaries are struggling, but ultimately, maybe it creates a better system for the artist to be able to do the kind of music they want to do when they want to do it and find a loyal fan base that will help support their career as they do it.